There's one last section, very short. It's in the back of the end of your pages of slides. Final topics. And mostly I'm just going to read these. An Anglican church planter shared these, was recorded in Christianity Today magazine some time ago, but I read them and thought, those are great final thoughts for us. Number one, this is for church planting leadership. Sustain high learning agility. Find a good coach. Learn from mistakes. Constantly adapt to the conditions. Number two, go slow to go fast. Do everything that needs to be done in the right order and do it well, especially building your team. Number three, Jesus builds his church, so stop watching the door and start feeding people. Quit asking why specific people aren't here, and leave it up to Jesus. The emotional roller coaster is too perilous. Number four, finding worship space is an uphill spiritual battle. Start praying. It's God's plan for your place. That's important. Number five, collaborate with fellow planters. Don't compete. Number six, don't be afraid to ask for money and people. These aren't luxuries. They are essentials to planting. Number seven. Seven is the perfect number. Completion. Follow Jesus on the journey he has planned for you and invite your people along. Be sure it's your journey and not that of someone else that you're trying to recreate. Those are the words. Now there's a couple of things at the very end. Final project and timeline. There's a map about a rough draft for working toward your project. And even if it's an imaginary project, wouldn't be a bad idea to go through the process and see what it will look like. But you can have a rough draft of your planting proposal, your proposition for planting a church. And these are pretty much the same as all the modules we had until the last two. The last two are about money, raising support, money and ministry. We're going to leave those to Sirkev Braska to help you with and to talk to you about as needed. Okay? Planning exercise. This will be a process you go through later on and when you're ready. But this is a nice way to do this when you're thinking through how this project is unfolding. Have a times together where you're thinking through the sequence of the milestones that need to be accomplished so that you can be ready when it's time to start preview services and move toward the grand opening. So this is just a list of things to be thinking about. Strategic milestones on this page. It's also page 22 in the back of the book that's in print big enough to read. On this page, you have 50 possible milestones. All of them might not apply to you, but some of them might, and you may add some as you go through the process. But This is just to help you, to make sure you don't skip some important things and suddenly find that you're 3 months into the public worship and we forgot to do something that would have been so much easier to do ahead of time. And so this is just a checklist for you. The timeline is just a reminder to put down or plot out the calendar of the activities, the year 1 goals, year 2 goals, and you can use that as needed. I'm not going to tell you that process because that will unfold for you. And the very last slide is the end. That's not talking about the Lord's return. But that's coming too. So let's be busy in light of that reality. May God bless you. And remember one thing. If God is for us, who can be against us? Amen.